Hello, I'm Randy McClure. Welcome to the latest supply chain tech brief.
Today we're diving into why some businesses are absolutely crushing it while others are falling behind. And you know what? It really comes down to one thing: data-driven decision making. We're going to break down why it's so powerful and, maybe more importantly, the hidden traps that can completely derail the whole thing. So let's just jump right in with this quote from Randy McClure, the author of our source material. And he's not mincing words here. He's saying this isn't about getting a little leg up on the competition anymore. In today's business world, using your data the right way, well, it's about survival. Okay, survival. That sounds pretty intense, right? So why the dramatic language? To get it, we really need to understand what the author calls the data divide. See, right now, companies pretty much fall into one of three groups. You've got the ones who are just drowning in data. They have no idea how to interpret. Then you have the hoarders. They're collecting tons of data, but it's all stuck in these separate, fragmented silos where it's basically useless. And then you've got the sprinters. These are the few who are actually turning all that data into a serious competitive advantage. So the big question is, how do you become one of those sprinters? Well, it all starts with this fundamental idea. You have to actually make your data useful. And this is where two really important disciplines come into play. Think of it this way. On one hand, you've got data science. These are the architects, the builders. They create the tools and the whole infrastructure to make the data usable in the first place. Then, on the other hand, you've got data analytics. They're like the detectives. They use the tools the scientists built to dig in and find answers to specific business questions. And I love this perspective from Google's chief decision scientist, Cassie Kozyrkov. It's so simple. What's the entire point of data science? Just to make data useful. That's it. Full stop. So data science makes the data useful. Data analytics is where the rubber really meets the road. It's all about sifting through that data, spotting trends, and telling a story with it. A story that helps businesses make smarter, more strategic decisions. And all of this brings us right to the heart of the matter. Data-driven decision making, or DDDM for short. This is the whole process, from top to bottom, of collecting data that's tied to your company's most important goals, your KPIs, and then turning all that raw information into insights you can actually act on. Okay, that sounds great in theory, but what does this process actually look like in the real world? It's a six-step process, and what I think is so fascinating here is where the human input comes in. Look at that. We set the goals at the very beginning, and we make the final decision at the very end. All the technology in the middle, it's an incredibly powerful tool for sure, but it's there to augment our judgment, not to replace it. So when a business actually gets that six-step process right, what happens? What's the reward? Well, the benefits are huge. The source material points to six major wins that can totally transform an organization. Let's actually dig into what those six big wins are. All right, let's take a second here, because this is really the payoff. For starters, you can process absolutely massive data sets, spotting patterns no human ever could. And this is crucial. You can make sure every single decision aligns with your main corporate goals. Everyone is pulling in the same direction. Then there's the magic of predictive analysis. You stop just reacting to what happened and start anticipating what's going to happen. A data-first approach also helps strip out a lot of human bias and error, leading to more objective choices. And all of that comes together to give you way deeper insights into your finances and operations, and ultimately helps you spot and manage risks before they blow up into a crisis. But it's not all smooth sailing. The path to becoming truly data-driven is absolutely littered with hidden traps. Traps that can turn a really promising project into a very expensive failure. Our source points out three major pitfalls. First, there's the danger of summarizing your data too early, which means you might literally throw away the most important insights. Second is hidden bias, where your own assumptions get baked into your models and give you skewed results. But the third one, well, it's the classic, and it's probably the most dangerous of all. Garbage in, garbage out. The idea is painfully simple. If the data you start with is flawed or siloed or just plain out of date, then every single insight, every chart, every decision you build on top of it will also be flawed. This is what happens when a company treats its data like an exhaust fume, just a useless byproduct of their software, instead of treating it like the core asset it really is. And that right there, that idea, is the key to avoiding that whole garbage in, garbage out trap. It takes a total shift in mindset. You have to start seeing your data in a completely new light. So the fix isn't about buying some shiny new piece of software. It's actually much deeper than that. It's about changing the culture. It's about actively adopting a data centric approach. And that just means you start treating your data like a valuable permanent asset that you need to invest in and manage carefully. And that brings us to the final and most critical takeaway from our source material. This isn't some trend that's way off on the horizon. It is happening right now. Your competitors, the sprinters in every industry, are mastering this. And so that leaves one simple but really powerful question for everyone else. Will you?
Hello, this is Raina McClure from SC Tech Insights. Thank you for listening. For more on this topic, click the article link below or go to www.sctechinsights.com for the latest insights on supply chain technology. Thank you and see you next time.